side of NHL 95.
All right,
Meeting is being recorded.
All right, WNHL 95 back on the hog, and it's fitting that we have this meeting with Red, the farmer boy from Ontario, and we're going to welcome into WNHL 95 softly, but with a hard press. So, Red, tell us a little bit about yourself, and welcome to the league.
Well, yeah, I'm a full-time farmer. Been farming since I was 19 full-time, so always been busy. Played a lot of sports when I was younger. My kids are real good athletes, so I spend a lot of time kind of on the road with them. They play rugby, do freestyle wrestling, and my son was a national kickboxing champion, same with my daughter, and wrestling champions. And yeah, I play a lot of rugby and stuff like that. And so I get to see a lot of road with them and stuff, so it's great. And yeah, it's pretty good, and it's pretty cool how we kind of came across this Sega thing with my son. So that's kind of how I ended up here. So
well, the funny thing is that your family makes a lot of people see red, or your family sees red and attacks.
Yeah.
Okay, that kind of sums it up. But so how did you start? Sorry. Go ahead.
So everyone calls me Red because I'm a big ginger, so that's how I got my nickname. So
I don't know. We had a ginger in our league before. Well, he wasn't a ginger, at least that we thought. His team was called the Dinkelberg Dingleberries.
Oh.
And his logo was a ginger. So
was it? Yeah, I'm full on ginger, so ginger beard, everything. So
well, we can call you the Red Rocket then.
Sure, that sounds good.
All right, fair enough. So how did you and your son come across the league?
Well, when I was younger, in like 16, 17, oh man, me and my friends used to play these games forever, and then you get into life farming and stick the console away, and then I'd moved out west for about 10 years and came back, and I think 2007 my buddies came up once or something, and we played for like an afternoon. It wasn't much, and then put her back in the garbage bag and put her back into the storage. And me and my son were cleaning out the storage. It must have been 2-3 weeks ago, and he goes, "What the heck is this thing that says a Genesis?" And he goes, "Oh, this thing is antique." And he goes, "I bet you I could beat you on any game on this." And I was like, "Well, would you want to have a 95 hockey game?" He goes, "Oh, Dad," he goes, "I feel bad. It's going to be so bad for you." And I'm like, "Okay." So we fired up. Well, the end of the game was about 14-0 for me, and he was throwing the controller, and he was so mad at me and stuff. And then he's like, "Well, I'm looking online to see if there's any tips I can get on YouTube." So he's looking on YouTube, and all of a sudden I'm looking with him, and he goes, I go, "What the heck's that saying?" And one of the comments said, "Oh, really nice goal. You should play in the Sega League." And then I'm like, "Sega League? What?" And I kind of didn't pay any attention to it. The next morning I woke up and I was in the bar, and I'm like, I'm going to Google that and see if there's actually Sega League, because I love playing this. Sure enough, I started looking, found you guys, and the rest is history. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this because I really enjoy it, and makes me feel like I'm 16 again. It's pretty awesome.
Bob's your uncle, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so the main thing how this started, so NHL 94 has been around for 18 years now online.
Yeah.
And everybody knows 94 as being like the holy grail of all video games, even up to this date now, because of the nostalgic value. Is mostly 40-year-olds playing it. But the big thing is that everybody's loved that game. I'm, on the other hand, is that I'm not going to dog it. 94 is fun. That's about it.
Yeah.
It's not a passion. It's not a love. It's not anything. 95, I fell in love with because me and my brother used to create ourselves, see who can win the Stanley Cup. And yes, fights were broken out. Some fists were thrown. Some shins were kicked. Some balls were punched.
Yeah.
Anything under the moon you can think of. And I think I stopped playing it when we started playing Madden on the Xbox. And then after that, 95 went away. And then about August 8th of last year, WNHL 95 was born. So we've had, this is our 6th season, and we started with 23 guys. Now we're up to 34, and we have probably another 10 in the works that want to come in. That's why I'm making all these other leagues.
Well, it's awesome. It's like, I can't even believe this is real. This is like my 16-year-old's dream. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's so awesome. The guys are still playing it because, like I said, we played so much when we were younger, and it's like so good to play. You play against some guys your friends now, they don't even know what they're doing, so it's good to have some good competition to play against, right? So that's the best
part.
I'll
put it this way: the way we always say it, and a lot of guys say it, you're playing the best in the world,
right?
Because we do have we call them tribes. So we have the Minnesota tribe, Segathon. So if you looked online, they're the granddaddy of it all. We have Unholy. He's out of Thornhill.
Okay.
So he was the original great grandfather, probably would chalk it up. Then there's the Waterloo crew, who are probably the best in the world. Sean Bell's our defending 4-time champ.
Okay. I played him the other day, so he's pretty good. Yeah.
Your scores were close against him, so I topped my hat off to you, because not many people stand really well to Sean in the first couple of games, unless he took it easy on you. I don't think he did, because Sean's very competitive.
Okay.
Then we have the high guys, or we call them the Philly Ding Dongs.
Okay.
So they're from Philadelphia. They think the sun shines out of their ass, and sometimes it does, but they think they're holier than thou, and they think they bleed orange, but they bleed more red, and which will give you the opportunity to show them red and orange.
Well, I actually grew up in a little farm town, Maryhill, outside of Kitchener-Waterloo. So a lot of my friends I did play with are from Kitchener-Waterloo area. So.
Well, fuck, I was going to go. You just blew up my last part of my fucking dialogue here, but we'll go into it later on.
Okay.
But then we have the guys from Pittsburgh, who is, they're kind of derogatory names, is Ticklepuss and Nipples.
Yeah, I just played Nipples right now, I think so.
Yeah, so his name's Dave, but his name's Adolf Oliver Nipples, and one of probably the best players in the world, in my opinion.
That's good. Yeah, I just played him just before I got in line with you here, so.
Yeah, he's the guy who traded me Forsberg, and then I traded Forsberg within a season. So.
Oh, did you? Okay.
So there's a few coaches in the league that are willing to wheel and deal, and then who else do we have? And then we have the rogue. Like I'm a rogue, LHX, G-Lock. There's so many guys in the league. Even Jeer 33, he's from the 94 side. Don's from 94. We have a lot of guys who do crossovers.
Oh, okay.
Ellis is another one. Comical Font's another one. We had Halifax. We had the reigning champion, King Wrath. He's a 94 guy. He came over. Like, there's been 94 guys who come over for a season or two, then they fuck off because.
Right, and I gotta tell you, it's one thing that's been so awesome. All the guys here, like, getting messages, like saying "good game," or if I have questions, or like just shoot me a message and stuff, and they've helped me through, like, more than just the gameplay, like just like the, like all the other bells and whistles of this thing, right? So it's been awesome. All the guys have been great.
Yeah, you're gonna find that out the more you get involved with the league, the more you see that, like, it's a weird way to say it. Like, military people say it's like a brotherhood. It literally is. I think the 95 crew is like a brotherhood. Everybody becomes really close friends. And
for sure.
You have guys like the Segathon holds an in-person tournament. I was there in March in Minnesota.
Yeah.
For it. And then I'm going down to the one in February in Philadelphia with Derek Sutton. We're driving down
cool, man.
Because he lives near Hamilton. So we're going to just drive down to Philly together.
Okay.
And then we had an in-person tournament in October in Toronto.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
That was on the old systems.
Yeah, that's about an hour and a half for me. I was just down there with my kids yesterday, so.
Oh, there you go. So next year it's going to be in Toronto as well. So we're going to have like a whole day dedicated to 95.
That's awesome, man.
On original consoles and everything.
That's cool, man. That's something else.
So we're gonna ask you the question, which now you kind of alluded to it, but why Maryhill Alumni?
Because that's where me and all my closest buddies used to all, like, that's where we grew up, and that's where it all started. Like, we go to each other's house and literally play this game until, like, the sun came up. And we're all from the Maryhill area, and I was just kind of like, you know what, we're that Maryhill crew, and we used to play against the guys from the city, and like we used to get bussed into town. So we were kind of out in the country. It used to be us against the city guys and stuff. So I was like, there's two of my buddies there, Jared and Stevie. They're two really good players. I think they're going to join too. And they were just kind of the Maryhill alumni. We were the little group that started all in Maryhill way back in the day. So that's why I named my team that.
So the big thing is they're going to have to come up with different names.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I told him that. He said, "Oh man, that's a great name." And I said, "Tough. You have to find something else." Logo? I did show him the logo. He's like, I go, "Yeah, the guy made me that in like 2 minutes." He's like, "Oh my gosh!" So I'm going down there for Christmas on Friday because one of my buddies actually married my cousin and married into the family, so I see him all the time now. Oh, so we're gonna go down there and get him, show him how to sign, get everything going, and he's gonna join too. So.
Okay, perfect. So the big thing is you'll see in the league that we have Twitter's accounts. Like, we have Timo Solani following us.
Oh, really?
He's on
That's
my
awesome.
teams. I do a lot of Timo highlight videos, so it's pretty funny.
That's cool.
I think we have 2 podcasts. We have 7 newspapers.
Oh yeah.
So like people write their weekly articles.
Oh, that's cool.
Everyone's got their own team channel, so you can basically go in and write anything you want about farming. You can start your own channel. We can call it Red's Way or something like that. And you basically go in there and everyone just kind of joins in and starts conversation in your channel about topics. And there was one of them was like Ask Ultra Magnus, and everybody started asking me the weirdest questions. I'm like, start your own fucking channel. So Puss started his own Ask Pickle Puss, and then it became a big thing. We have another one called Just Babes, where it's just guys posting photos of hot chicks.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and then we have another one. This one is called This Bud's for You or something. So everybody posts pictures of beers that they're drinking, just like this is my favorite IPA or whatever else like that. So it's just like a really open, and I don't like the league being stale. So everybody who wants to contribute and do their own thing. We have, how many streamers do we have now? I think we have 7. No, we have 10 guys who stream online for live games. So I actually will sit down. The NHL games would be on. And I'm like, I don't want to watch this. I want to watch the conference finals of our league.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like I just finished playing. What's his name? There was
Nips.
But yeah, and right after the game, a guy get a message. Oh, I watched that game. Great game and stuff. And it's like, holy smokes, that's awesome. The guys are just watching the games.
Yeah. So in the channels, you can go in. I think it's under league content. You can actually see live streams. And you click on it, it'll bring you to Twitch, and you can go watch your games and see what you did bad and what you can do to improve on it.
Oh, well, I was telling my buddy about this, and he goes, "Will you get in there and see what it's all about?" And I'm like, "Dude, like, they retire guys when they actually retire, and there's the drafts. They go, it's not just like the '95 roster, man." And he's like,
that was 6 seasons ago. That was 6 seasons ago.
Yeah, and he's just like he's so flabbergasted by this. He was going to try to make it up today, but then he got caught with work. So, but I'm going down Friday, so we're going to get into it. He's pumped. He's a really good player too. So we played a lot together. So.
Well, from what I've seen about you already, it seems like you're going to fit in very well with the crew. So.
Oh, that's great. Like I say, I'm just happy I was included and stuff because, like I said, this is like, life goes by so fast. This is one thing I always enjoyed, and it's like, you always work, and even my wife, she was like, man, you love playing Sega hockey, just go do it. And just so it's great for me.
Well, the good thing is about it too is that a lot of these games are played at night.
Yeah.
So like there'll be guys that play during the day, but for you, you're like, you know what, I can still do my work. I'm not going to get distracted about it. You might be thinking about it a lot because it'll get to that point where you're like, fuck, I really want to play this guy tonight and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly.
I don't know if it's going to happen all the time, but your mind kind of wanders sometimes in being like, oh, I wonder what I could do for my stats for next year. Who could I trade for a first round pick? Blah, 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 blah. Those kind of things.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was looking at lunch. I came in, I was like looking, I'm like, okay, I got to play those guys. I better check their, see where they are in the standing and see what I'm going against tonight. So it was, you know what I mean? So it's pretty cool.
The big thing is that we're going to be developing this league even more to the point where we're going to be on, we're going to have a league website. We had one before, and then like my Google account got hacked and then I lost it. So it was just like, you know what? I want to do it right. So I'm doing everything's being stored in Google Sheets right now, but like everything's going to be accessible. You can look back at past seasons. Like, we do even an award ceremony for the awards during the year. So,
oh my, that's awesome.
Yeah. So like just as like a memory thought out of my head, like I remember all the names of the trophies, but like sometimes I forget what they are. But we have one called the Brick Wall Award. So that's like the Vesna. The Bruley Cup is like our Bruley. It's basically like the Stanley Cup.
Okay.
We have the Classic Cup, which is the President's Trophy. Comeback Team of the Year. That's a team who sucked balls one year and then they bounce back with a good record.
Okay, yeah. So I was seeing some words in the comments there about that Bruley Cup and stuff. I didn't know what it was, so I was kind of waiting to hear what all that was about.
If you know anything about John C. Reilly, he started like a closed network, like YouTube channels, like GAF. And it's basically closed network TV that's like fucked up, but like low budget. And Dr. Steve Brule is the guy, which is John C. Reilly. So like, we got the trophy has John C. Reilly's head on it from the show, but on a hockey player.
That's awesome.
Then we have the Gadget Award, which is the best special teams player. So like the guys like good at shorthanded points. Like we have like power play and penalty kill points.
Defense and stuff. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Then Game Theory Award is the Jennings.
Yeah.
Gentleman's Cup is for a coach who shows that they're dedicated to the league and like contributed a lot that season.
Awesome. That's incredible.
Yeah, we have another one called the GM of the Year Award, which you basically like if you wheeled and dealed, you built your team in the right way, you've like organized yourself for that season, you could be in the running. Go Getter is all the league's best body checker.
Yeah.
The Gretzky Award, which is actually an award for AHL, the playoffs.
Yeah.
But that's for our playoffs guy as well. Then we have the Hall of Fame one. So like if a player is played, there's only one player that can get nominated to the Hall of Fame every season, and only if they're worthy. So
right,
he played 6 seasons. The guy retires, but he was like league leader in points 3 seasons in a row. He would basically be allocated to a Hall of Fame ballot.
Hall of Fame. So how many seasons in a year do you guys play? Like
3. We did
3,
4
okay.
the first year, but we've decided like the summer months to be kind of a little bit quieter because there's a lot going on. A lot of guys are like, oh, this is my time off. So we're going to take a 2-month hiatus, but then that's where we have the other leagues. So like guys are like, hey, I still want to play. I don't care about everybody else taking some time off. So that's where I created the queue, which is like quick playing. You play 40 games and that's it.
Yeah,
which this was 72. And then we have the historical one, which is going to be about 20 to 25 games. And then the original game that we're going to have. Sam, that's enough. My dog's whining on the side. Go lay down.
No problem.
Then we have the Just Babes Award. So like during a season, if guys post photos of a girl who everyone's like, wow, she's hot, then she wins the award. Nobody else does.
Yeah. Okay.
Most improved coach. So a coach who's like showed progress through a season. Royal Flush Award is a player who I think the Royal Flush is for most points in the season. My memory serves me correctly. Shitty Bill is for whoever wins the Losers Cup. It's basically you win the first or second overall pick.
Oh, okay. So there's 3 tiers in this league, or how does that work? Or
there's 4 tiers technically, but it's based on like play level. But like everybody's division winner moves on.
Okay.
And then basically from there, everybody who doesn't make the Bruley Cup, which is only 16 teams, so that means there's 18 teams in this tournament for the first and second overall picks. Then everybody else is based on record.
Gotcha. Okay.
So instead of sitting around with your thumb up your ass for the whole offseason, you basically get to compete in a tournament to win the first overall pick.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's awesome.
So
is this like the only Second 95 league out there anywhere type thing?
Yes.
So basically,
we're the only ones.
So that's So if there's any good players are coming here type thing.
Yeah, and we've gotten there's a Finland tribe, but like they haven't come over yet because I think they're intimidated by our talent.
Okay.
I have no idea though.
Okay.
Then we have the Snipers Trophy, which is like the Maurice Richard or the Rocket Trophy.
Yeah.
We have Chet Stedman. So if you know Chet Stedman's from Rookie of the Year, the old guy. So he's the Rookie of the Year. Street Fighter Cup is for the most penalized player in the league. Swayze Trophy, or is the Swayze Train, is
Swayze Train
team MVP, league MVP.
Okay.
Two Touchy Cup is like the Norris, but it's not based on who's the best defenseman. It also depends on how good your goalie is. So if your goalie is playing really good and you're one of the top defensemen, you're likely to be in the ballot.
Right. Okay. I get you. Okay.
Yeah. So we have to fill in some dialogue there a little bit.
Yeah.
So going into that, what are your first thoughts, or what's your worst experience and best experience of 95 in your life?
In my life?
Yeah.
Well, probably when I was younger, we were playing a lot, and then we just lived in a little small town and stuff, and you always think are you any good? And it was really popular. There was tournaments at school and stuff and everything, right?
Wow.
So then we started. There was a tournament at our high school and stuff that, and 96 or 95 hockey and stuff. So it was pretty cool. And then we started playing guys from other towns, and we were beating them. And then me and my one buddy who married my cousin, his brother was always 2 years older than us in high school, and they were all into it. So we used to get in the games at night, and there'd be fist fights going with brothers, and it was crazy. It was crazy. So it was awesome. I remember one time my buddy's older brother bit him on the hand because he lost a match. Oh, it was wild, but we used to play steady, and I think there's I can't believe the. I think when I'm thinking about it, the quality of players I actually used to play with when I was younger, they're really good, and I think some of them would fit in really well here. They're great players. So like they're so pumped up about this too. I've been just getting the word out too, so they're all getting set up for it too. They hope to join. So
Well, that's great to hear.
yeah, and I'd probably say my worst experience was I remember one time I was younger or something like that. We were playing. I was kind of dogging around with like just not really trying against this guy. I remember, and then at the end of the game it was tied, and I was like trying to be a smartass or something, and I went to pass the puck back to my D, and it just snuck right through the goalie's legs, and I ended up losing. I was just like, what the? I remember the game to this day. I'm like, what the hell was I doing? You know what I mean? But it was, you're young and stupid. It was, but I remember that was probably my worst experience, was just me being an idiot and losing. So
Oh, don't worry. There's plenty of that in the league. Everyone's got their own moments. Like even in our league, if you wanted to know who is the best goalie scorer, so
yeah,
he actually uses their goalie to score. Is
really? Oh, really? Just shoots it up to
the
me.
league. I think he's got 14 goals in 6 seasons with his goalie.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so he
That
knows
is
how to
crazy.
score with his goalie.
Okay, I'll watch that when I'm playing him. That I haven't played him yet. So
Yeah. So there's gonna be a lot of nuances you're gonna see right away, and I'll chalk them up right now in a very brief, like 1 minute summary.
Yeah.
Dirty down B. If you hear that, that's coming from Segathon, where he shoots like we call it a snapshot or a pass shot, where he does it from everywhere and it's desperation, but he uses it more frequently than most.
Yeah.
You'll hear that. You'll hear the Taipei dump, which is
Okay.
Nathan, who's a part of the Taipei Typhoons, where he just aimlessly dumps it down into the other zone with no purpose.
Okay.
There's the, what's it called? They call it the Canadian wraparound, but it's not really a Canadian wraparound because Puss uses it. It's where he flings it around to his winger and his winger picks it up. But since the players pin their goalie, it leaves the empty net.
Yeah, a few guys have tried that on me already. I've seen that one a few times. So
there's that one. Then there's the Shittyville special, which is basically a cross crease.
Yep, cross crease. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that. Then
when I was younger, actually, we used to put tape on the screen, and if you went and tried to do that move, the goal, we didn't count it. Back when we were younger, we used to put tape on the screen where it would be, and if we used to do that.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
And there's this is not one, but I'm gonna call it the it's hard because once you say the name, it's basically sticks to it. I call it Twitch Fingers Bell because he is the best breakaway scorer in the league. You let him on a breakaway, he's going to score on you.
And that's Sean, right?
That's Sean. He's like he's got twitchy thumbs. Yeah, I think he does weightlifting with his thumbs, or or he puts it up his ass and squeezes tightly. I don't know.
Okay, that's awesome.
Then there's mine. Mine's called Magnus Clapper.
Okay.
Where I do slap shots from the blue line, and it like everybody knows when it's coming now, but when I get a hold of it, I can score most of the time.
Okay.
So those are some of the big ones you'll hear. There might be other ones I'm not even really aware of yet, but you'll hear about it.
Well, I noticed the biggest thing I noticed was like we never used manual goalie.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to learn that.
When we played, so like it was it's a big difference, like shooting on a manual goalie. Even like a lot of the tricks didn't work. I'm picking it up pretty quick, but it's like that was a big learn in the beginning. It's like
it's a big reality check when you're just like, I'm good, and then you play and you're like, I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, but I'm kind of getting the hang of like the manual now, like shooting on it. And then even using it, because like there's a lot of those, like I say, like a lot of those normal moves that would go in when you were manual goalie. So now you got to pick that up to stop it, right? So it was definitely something to learn.
You get a lot of ballsy people in the league who are like, you know what, I'm going to use manual goalie, and then they give up a goal, then they go back to manual, like auto for a bit, and then they get scored on. They're like, no, I got to go back to manual. So it's kind of, it's a love-hate relationship with manual goalie in this league.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but no, that was a huge thing. I was like, who did I play first? Tonic, I think. Is that
Comical Thought? Oh no, Salvo. You played Salvo.
Salvo, yeah. And after the first game, like it was close, but I'm like, what the hell's with this manual goalie going on? He's like, man, you better learn it in this league because you're gonna need it.
Yeah.
So,
but you see how it is. It's tricky to get used to, but some guys don't even want to touch manual goalie. Like I try to do it, but I get desperate sometimes, and I give up a lot of breakaway goals because I get cocky with it. I'm like, I can do it, and then I'm like, why the fuck did I make him go that way when?
Yeah. Why did I? Yeah, exactly. It's yeah. There's a few. Little trick plays and stuff that if you don't go manual, they're gonna go in, right? So you gotta.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
So we're gonna move to the next segment. This is called rapid fire.
sure.
And you just give me whatever's the first thing that comes to mind. It does not have to be right. If you want to elaborate, you can.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Evening of drinking or an evening of eating?
Drinking.
Ass or tits?
Tits.
Dead 50-year marriage of misery or 1 year of bliss ending in tragedy?
Whew.
Your wife better not be around when you answer this.
Oh boy, probably 50-year. I guess I have a pretty good marriage, so I go on that.
Okay, good. Good. Tacos or burritos?
Tacos.
Kittens or puppies?
Puppies.
AM or PM? This is a stupid one for me to ask you.
AM.
TikTok or Twitter?
Oh, I don't have either, but I'd probably say TikTok. So
Okay. 94 or 95? This is a stupid question.
95.
Okay, good. You passed the first test.
Okay.
Android or iPhone?
Android.
I noticed that iPhone is huge in the States. Android.
Yeah, iPhone. Yeah, I agree.
This is another dumb one. City or country?
Country.
Risk taker or play it safe?
Risk taker.
Death metal or classic rock?
Death metal.
Oh. What the fuck is people getting hurt or people whining? Or no.
Oh,
I wrote that poorly. People getting hurt or people getting owned?
People getting owned.
I don't know. There was a channel in this. It's like injuries. It's anything that involves people getting hurt.
Okay. Okay.
So if you want to start your own one, you can do that too.
All right.
Road trip or camping?
Camping.
It's kind of both.
Yeah. Camping probably. I like camping.
Okay. Diarrhea or vomiting?
Ooh. Probably diarrhea.
I personally would take diarrhea any day of the week. I've had my fair cases of vomiting, and it's never ended right.
No, it's awful. Vomiting
Diarrhea,
is absolutely.
At least you got some quiet.
Yeah, exactly. You sit in the bathroom and go on your phone or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
At least I'm entertained. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
Football or hockey?
Hockey.
Long blowjob or short sex?
Short sex.
Okay. One giant Mickey Mouse hand or with a normal hand or tiny feet?
Big hand.
Why would that be?
I don't know. First thing that came to my head.
Okay, don't worry. It's never. None of these are wrong answers.
Okay.
Locked out or locked in?
Locked out.
Okay. Bath or shower?
Shower.
Beer or spirits?
Whew, spirits.
Oh, man after my heart. I prefer tequila and absinthe.
Yeah, I'm a tequila man myself.
Which tequila?
Any kind. No, I don't know. I like geez, there's so many. What's that? Is it that 1920 it's called or
1800.
1800, that's it. Yeah, I like that stuff. That's pretty good.
That's my favorite. Mine's the 1800 a nail. Like it's the brown bottle, not the gold.
Yes. Yeah.
It's almost like a nice scotch.
Yeah, like there's some guys that come up from Toronto and hunt in our bush, and they always give me a bottle. They just actually brought me one of those bottles for letting me use so they could use our land. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, what was it doing here?
This meeting is being recorded.
All right. So moving into our next segment, you can be as raunchy as possible, honest as possible, or as short as possible. It's up to you. So a funny word that is not funny.
Jeez. Funny prolapse, like on a cow. kind of funny, but not funny.
Oh, that's hilarious. Prolapse. Oh, fuck. I was thinking moist or kumquat or something like that, but prolapse. Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Well, I was thinking anal fissure would be kind of funny too, but it's
Yeah.
kind of telling you what's wrong.
Okay.
Weapon of choice in a battle.
A Henry 44 mag rifle.
You like keeping people from a distance.
Yep.
Yeah. Get the fuck off my land or I'm going to take a leg out.
Exactly right. Yeah, we have some pretty nasty guard dogs too. Between them and the rifle, people wouldn't be getting up here too quick. So
there you go. Would you rather win the shitty bill or lose the Bruley?
Lose the Bruley.
Yeah, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Unless you're in a rebuilding year and you need a good draft pick, that would be the only reason why I'd go shitty bill.
Exactly.
If alcohol was mandatory in a sport, which sport would be the funniest to have it incorporated? And you can't choose darts, bowling, pool. I think those are the only ones you shouldn't really be can't include because they're not really considered sports overall.
Probably like synchronized swimming. There'll be some serious people going under, man.
Throwing up on themselves. They say do not swim after eating. Do not swim after drinking.
There'll just be people floating around the pool, man. Like they'd be done.
It wouldn't even be water polo. Or synchronized swimming. It'd be synchronized dodging because you would have
exactly. Yeah, there'd be some serious lifeguards hopping in the pool, I think.
If animals could talk, who would be the asshole? Who would be the slut? And who would be the liar?
The liar, a slut, and an asshole?
Yeah.
Asshole would have to be a freaking cat. Those things are the most evil creatures on the whole planet.
I have one, but I would agree with you.
Like if they were the size of dogs and their numbers are the same, they'd take over the whole world. They're the nastiest things I've ever seen. A slut would be
I'd say a rabbit.
A slut, yeah, probably a rabbit. Yeah, a rabbit would be a slut. And then a liar would be probably a horse.
I was thinking maybe a snake.
A snake. Well, I find horses, they'll make excuses like something's going wrong, but it's just them like we're a horse family, like the kids all compete and stuff. And the horses will be like, oh my gosh, and it's meanwhile they're just like being like, fuck you, I don't want to do it. I'm full of shit. This isn't really a problem. You know what I mean?
Well, they'd be more of an asshole than a liar.
Yeah, probably all of them.
That's true. They're slutty. Like, here, look at my mane. It's nice and beautiful. Please pet me.
Exactly right.
So far, what is your biggest learning curve in the league?
Manual goalie.
Okay. I think that would be the same thing for everybody. Sometimes it's like, if you haven't played in a long time, you're like the speed. You're like, shit, I didn't remember it being this fast.
Yeah. No, that didn't bother. It was a manual goalie was the thing that got me.
Yeah, it'll get a lot of people. The biggest thing I would say is the learning curve is like, hey, if you want the game to slow, go play 94.
Yeah, and the thing is too, it's like there was like I've always played some good players, but now it's like like these are really good players, right? So you got to be on your freaking game, or you're gonna get toasted, right? So
a lot of guys you'll see they're gonna start complaining that their thumbs are sore when they play games. They're like, man, that was an intense game. My thumbs hurt.
Oh, my buddy actually married my cousin. He used to get so sweaty, his damn controller would be like soaked, like it was gross. We wouldn't even it was his we wouldn't even use a controller because like it reeks. Like his hands would get so sweaty.
You're like, please unplug your controller so we can plug ours in. No, don't don't even touch the fucking wire. We will unplug it. Probably the sweat is rolled down into the controller.
Oh, he used to sweat. It was great. Like we just sit there, be like, dude, are you okay? Like he'd get so wound up.
I'm nervous.
Yeah.
So far in the league, which logos do you find are the nicest, or which ones are your favorite?
There's one somewhere. I don't know what team it is. There's one where they have like I saw it's like it's a picture. Is it Swayze or Sutton or something like that? Is that Hamilton? I remember seeing a picture somewhere on the screen of it. It looked like Swayze. It said in the top left corner.
Top left corner, and it's Swayze. That's Sutton's. That's the Hamilton Mustangs.
That must be Hamilton Mustangs. Yeah, that's a sweet logo. I love that movie, Young Blood. So
yeah, so you're gonna get along with a lot of guys in this league. Segathon runs tournaments that it's called. He has Patrick Swayze events basically. So
really?
Yeah, they're themed tournaments, and Patrick Swayze was one that we went to in Minnesota. Was Slapshot was the theme.
Well, that's awesome because I have in my shop, I have a bar in the bar shop. We got a big picture of Roadhouse with Swayze on it and stuff, and the people
Oh
come
my
in
god. Well, so then you're
like,
gonna like all the trophies in this. There's even a division called the Patrick Swayze division.
"Oh, really?" Because like my daughter, she's 15, and when friends come in the shop, and I'll be, "Do you know who that guy is?" They're like, "No." I'm like, "Get the fuck out!" Like basically, you can't be in the shop. Get out of my
Patrick
shop.
fucking Swayze.
I'm like, if you haven't watched Roadhouse, like you're not allowed on this farm.
You need it's a prerequisite.
It has to be. Yeah, that and Revenge of the Nerds. You got to watch them both.
Oh fuck yeah! Like
Yeah.
my favorite one lately right now has been Cooper's Christmas.
Yeah,
If you ever seen that one, that's pretty fucking funny.
I
But
have. Yeah, all those. Yeah, well, I love all those.
that
So.
Kung Fury is another one.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, you'll get along.
yeah.
You'll get along with a lot of guys in this league. If you were a wrestler, what would be your name and your special move?
Um, hmm, probably. Well, they probably call me Big Red or something. 'Cause I'm a ginger and I was a rugby player and stuff, and I did. Yeah. So and then I used to fight MMA too. So, and I'd probably I got everyone says I got farmer hands. So it'd probably be like a choke of some kind, like just a strangle.
The old Andre the Giant fucking the slam choke.
Yeah, probably just like grab them by the throat and just crush their throat together, and that'd be about it. So
Your move would be called the Excavator,
the excavate, yeah, exactly right.
or that could be your nickname, Big Red's Excavator.
Big
Boom,
Red's
like the pile
Excavator.
drive you into the ground.
Exactly.
Favorite movie and favorite TV show?
Married with Children and Roadhouse.
Oh fuck, I love Married with Children. Oh,
Could you imagine if that was played today on TV?
oh fuck, it would be banned. It's just like fucking Married. What's it called? The Honeymooners is the same thing.
Same thing. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's a modern day version of it. And then even Lucky. You ever seen Lucky Louie?
No, I've never seen that. No.
Louis C.K. does a TV show. It was only one season on HBO, and it was pretty bad. There's even one thing where his daughter asked him a question. He says, like, starts asking questions about everything, and the way he answered and ended the question, he says, "God's dead and we're alone."
Oh, geez.
And the kid just said, "Okay." So it's just like shit. Like he wanted to like punch her in the face because she kept on asking stupid questions, made him start questioning his life, and
Yeah.
that's how he said it. He says, "God's dead and we're alone."
Well, my son even has a Poke High 33 sweater he wears to school. He's in grade 7.
Oh my
Like,
god.
no one knows. The teachers are like, "That is the best sweater we've ever seen." Like, they love
Well,
it.
there you
So,
go.
yeah.
Well, those the good TV show and good movie. So my
Yeah.
TV show, I would have to go with. Fuck, it's really hard, but Trailer Park Boys
Yeah.
or
My top
Red Dwarf.
3 are Trailer Park Boys, Married with Children, and Letterkenny. Those 3
Well,
are my
Letterkenny
top.
would be my third, but my other one would be Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
That one, movie wise, there's too many of them, but like
Yeah.
sci-fi ones are pretty much good. Any sports ones, like Naked Gun is a great series, like movies as well. But there's so many out there, I can't even get into a list. We'll be here all night.
Yeah, exactly.
When did you find out that Xmas was not real?
Oh,
When Santa wasn't real, put it that way.
probably like 7 years old, probably something like that.
When did you tell your kids Santa wasn't real, or when did they find out?
Probably around that like 7 or something like that. Like around there, they kind of were like, "Hey, Dad, some of the kids at school." I'm like, "Okay, kids, let's have the talk. This is
Okay.
what it is," and straight up.
Do you want to tell? I'll tell you how I found out. I went
Okay.
downstairs in the middle of the night. My dad liked to have a few scotches every once in a while.
Yeah.
But on that fair night, he went downstairs. He was dressed as Santa.
Yeah.
And we're like, "Dad?" He turns around and he's like half in the tank already. And he's just like, "Oh, I'm Santa." It's just like nobody answers that. You're a fucking kid that's 4 and seeing this. And he's eating the cookies and drinking the milk. We're like, "That's Santa." He's like, "I'm Santa." We're like, "But you're our dad." And then he had to the next morning, we're like, "Dad, so you're Santa? So you can get us any gift we want?" He's like, "What the fuck did I do last night?" So he couldn't remember. So it was pretty funny because next time he drank, we asked him the question again, and he's just like, "Yeah, I get you anything you want." The next morning, we're like, "Dad, we have this." He's like, "What the fuck did you ask about that?" Last
That's
night, I
awesome.
was in the tank last night. What the fuck?
That's awesome.
So, worst advice you were ever given?
The worst advice I was ever given, probably, I remember back when we were in high school, all the teachers said, unless you get a secondary education, you won't make anything of yourself. And I never did, but I think that'd probably be because I know lots of guys who went into trades and went into farming and stuff. And I remember them saying, you got to go, you got to get this, you got to get this. And I know lots of people that did it and it didn't work out. All they did was get a big bill and didn't get anywhere. I mean, not everybody, but some. And I remember I just wanted to go work with my hands and do something different every day. And I did. And I was very happy and lucky to do that. So.
Well, if you ever need a hand at the farm, just give me a shout.
All right. Sounds good.
I grew up in northern Quebec. So I worked with my hands. I worked with my hands. My dad owns an auto body shop, put me to work when I was 12. So
you know how it is. I couldn't sit behind a desk. I couldn't do it.
I do that now, but then it gives me the opportunity to run the league.
Right. Oh no, you gotta have somebody to do that for sure. Like but when you get older too, you start slowing down a bit. So I still work hard, but find something like this. I don't mind sitting by the computer for maybe an hour or two because it's pretty enjoyable. So
there you go. And the funny thing is for me, like the industry I'm in funeral.
In funeral?
Yeah, I don't work at a funeral home. I sell product to funeral homes.
Oh, okay.
I sell caskets. So
caskets, okay.
Yeah. So everybody asked, they're like, oh, that's the Magnus is out there selling there's been a busy year this year, Magnus. I'm like, yeah, it's Christmas time. A lot of people die.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
I've become very jaded when it comes to that kind of stuff. I don't really care.
Sure you would be for sure. Just be kind of like part of the day, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, somebody got shot. Well, where the fuck is it? And he's going to my customer because that's business for me.
Right. Exactly.
I get pretty bad. I guess.
That's all right.
This one here, everybody knows it now. Most overused phrase or word that annoys you.
Snap.
Mine is let's go.
Let's go.
I fucking rage when I hear that. Like It's always in sports. They're like, let's go. You've already won, moron. What else is there to do? You've already accomplished your goal. There's nothing else to go to.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's a closer to me. Snaps when the kids are like, oh snap. And like some of the kids, like when they were younger, I'd be like, oh my gosh.
Please stop.
I can't take this right now. Stop.
There's a shoe horn over here that I would like to use, but it's not going to be used on a shoe.
Exactly right. So I'm glad they grew to that stage.
Good.
So, yeah.
Biggest pet peeve.
Biggest pet peeve. I'd say biggest pet peeve, liars.
Good. So then you wouldn't like horses then, eh?
Yeah.
Tie that right back together.
Yeah, exactly.
Favorite meal to have on death row?
A Labatt 50 beer, a summer sausage sandwich with my grandma's white onion on it, and mayonnaise and cheese.
Fucking what a way to go, eh?
Yeah, that's my favorite. I grew up on the farm, and she used to make it every day for lunch. And she's gone now, but that'd be my last one.
Well, it's a weird way to say it, but a hot beef injection.
Yeah. Right.
After you get before you get your lethal injection.
Exactly right.
3 things that you are the worst things that you ever eaten in your life.
Eaten?
Yes.
Let me think. Probably, I hate turnip, believe it or not. Turnip. One time I had this squid thing and we were in the States, and cauliflower. It should be considered a noxious weed and sprayed out of existence.
The only thing I like cauliflower for is when it's raw and with a dip with broccoli next to it.
Yeah, maybe that, but cooked. Oh my gosh, it's like my grandma used to always try to serve it. I'm like, listen, like I know we live on the farm. We're supposed to eat this stuff. Grandma, I can't. This is awful.
Grandma, there's only one thing I really miss in life, and I'll tell you a quick joke.
Yeah.
And it has to like be kind of tied into this a little bit, which it does. But there's a father who basically has his 3 sons coming back home from being away for years, and all 3 of them come back at the same time. It's a family reunion, and the father asks, he says, Anthony says, what do you miss most about from being at home? He's like, Papa, I miss grandma's homemade spaghetti sauce. And he's like, good boy, good boy. Ricardo, what do you miss most about being at home? He's like, Papa, I miss your homemade wine. He's like, good boy, good boy. And his last one, he says, Vincenzo, what do you miss most about? He says, Papa, I miss pussy. He's like, pussy? He's like, that tastes like shit. He's like, Papa, you take too big of a bite.
Oh, jeez.
But it goes
Oh.
back to the whole thing. Like people say, the cauliflower tastes like shit, but if you have it closely to something that tastes good, you can kind of
Yeah,
go foul, not tasting so foul.
exactly right.
So if there's, you've played already probably what, 15, 16 games already?
I think so. Yeah.
So given what your rosters look like, and I can see that you're trying to move Iggy, but
Yeah.
who on the whole league as of right now in this year's season, who would you be the player you would want the most on your team?
Again, you honestly, my favorite player in that league is Lindros.
You're not going to ever get him. You want to know why?
Why?
He's with the Highland Wolf, who is I think he has homoerotic of some sort, or he has some kind of fixation with Eric Lindros because he's a Philly boy.
Okay, gotcha.
You'll never get him. And
Yeah.
the funny thing is his roster right now is Eric Lindros, John Leclerc, he's got Eric Desjardins. So he's going to Legion of Doom kind of thing.
Right, gotcha. Yeah, Lindros, I'd say is Pavel still in this league, or is he retired by
Yeah,
now?
Pavel's still there. Pavel goes right before the lockout.
Yeah, he's another good one I'd like, and yeah, those two are probably the top.
You could probably trade G-Lock. If G-Lock doesn't do so well this year, you might trade you Bure.
Okay, that's one of my boys. So,
Well, dangle Iggy in front of him, he might go for it.
and do you know who I want on defense? I don't know if I can ever get him. I know he's not rated high. Dave Manson.
Manson, I think he might even be a free agent.
Did you? Oh, Dave Manson, I love him on D. He hits like a freight train.
Well, go and see if he's on any of the active. If he's on the active sheet, that means he's with that team. You can go throw a trade at him. Somebody will probably flip him. He's not that highly rated, but he is a tank to hit.
Oh, for sure. Like, yeah, you just bump them. Somebody bumps, you just bump them, they go down.
So outside of NHL 95, what retro game would you choose to play?
Outside of 95, retro game outside 95. Probably like, if I was gonna go totally retro, probably like something like, oh boy, that's a tough question. Probably like, maybe like Madden 95 or 96, something like that for Sega.
So the big thing is that we have another channel called Ultra Magnus, what's called Magtopia. Magnus is Magtopia or Modtopia, sorry. So basically I put all my mods on there that I've done with other sports.
Yeah.
So I've done Triple Play, I've done World Series, I've done Techno Bowl 3. What was another NHL 94, NHL 95. But there's all like the retro games from Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, even arcade.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can go out there and there's like the emulator. So you just download the emulator, download the game, and then you just play.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
It's all there.
Okay.
This is another one. Porn star name or your alias.
Porn star name or my alias?
Yeah.
Because
some guys are like, I never thought of a porn star name, but they have an alias.
Well, when I played rugby, they used to call me Big Red Machine, so that might be a pretty good porn star name. So
he always likes to pump.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there an oil drill around for me to be able to get some fucking wells out here?
Oil drill? I don't know.
But like my alias is Wallace Beaumont. I always like using some kind of fancy French name, even though I'm half French. So
okay,
it kind of plays into it. I come from Quebec, so I learned French at an easy name. But my porn name would be Sirloin.
What would it be?
Sirloin.
Either that or my porn name might be called Mike Coxman.
Mike Coxman?
Yeah.
my brother's is Mike Hunt.
Mike Hunt.
Which I find is a pretty funny one.
That is a good one, yeah.
Okay, 5 things you can't live without, excluding food, family, and house.
5 things I can't live without. My dogs.
Okay. By the way, what breeds are they?
We have purebred Caucasian Ovcharkas and purebred Kangles.
Oh wow!
They're the kind that live with the cattle. So
okay, we got a old English bulldog with a Great Pyrenees mix.
Okay, yeah, that'd be a nice dog. Yeah. So the dogs probably. I like my cattle and horses too. Like they're a big part of my day. It's raised them my whole life. So probably The one thing I like doing in the summer is go four wheeling. So we have a side by side and quad. They're that's one thing I don't go out too much, but those two would be definitely that. And let me think. One more.
No, you got two more.
Oh, two more. Let me think.
Because you said your cattle horses, your four wheelers, your dogs. So you still have two left.
Two left.
You're basically building Noah's Ark.
Basically right. Yeah.
Fuck.
So probably I can't say friends, right? Yeah, no, that's part of.
Oh yeah, you can. And it's family. I said family.
Yeah, friends.
Not
My friends.
included friends.
I got a real tight group of friends, and probably I wouldn't want to live with it. Like I coach some really good rugby in the summer, and I really wouldn't want to lose that because it's something I really enjoy too. So.
Well, you and I would get along because I was on the Canadian national team for rugby.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Yeah, we played for the sevens back in like fuck, how many years?
Oh, did you?
25 years now, if I look at it.
Okay. Yeah, our girls, some are going out for Team Ontario and stuff like that. So we got some really good players. And my son's team, I've coached them since they were 7, I guess. They're 12 now, and they only lost one game in all them years. We've played every team around. So we hope one day some of those kids might make the national team. They're really good. So.
There you go. I played inside outside center.
Oh yeah, so you got some wheels then.
I had when I played football, I played up to university, but then I had CFL tryouts and I blew my knee out, so I couldn't do that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Like, when I played rugby, I was inside outside center. They called me the nose because I have a big nose, but they basically there's this French guy on the French rugby team. I forget what his name is, but he has the long hair. He looks like kind of like a caveman. And
I know exactly what his name is. Yeah.
So that's who I was compared to when the guys start talking about. Like I would just steamroll people. I didn't give a shit. Even the rules, I didn't care. I power bombed somebody in the middle of the field. The refs like high tackle. And I just dropped my hand and put it on his chest and slammed him on the ground.
Well, then you and me would get along because I had the same philosophy. So I actually played rugby at Wilfrid Laurier University.
Oh, I played for my high school, but then I stopped playing. I played for Concordia.
Oh, did you? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, for football.
Cool. Yeah.
So that ends our segment on that. But now we move into open mic. If you have questions to ask, and even direct ones, it really doesn't matter. This is kind of like more or less becomes your kind of podcast.
Well, basically, I just wanted to say like it's a big thank you to everybody for allowing me to come in here and play. It's like I say, it's like this is I know it sounds as weird or something like that, but like I always enjoyed this my whole life playing Sega hockey, and you always wonder where you're gonna play it, and it's like I just stick the machine in the thing, and like it's incredible that this is here, and like someone's like yourselves running it, and everybody's so helpful and stuff. Like it's incredible. I just want to say thank you because it's like I don't even know what to really say about it. Like it's just awesome. So
put it this way: what you just said there is probably a soft version compared to what most people say. Like Segathon would say, this is the biggest and best thing on the internet. Puss and Nips would probably say, "We'll play this until you stop, Magnus." I said I'm not planning on going anywhere. I used to manually enter every box score.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, people would send me the save state. I'd go in, take all the stats out of it manually, and then manually enter it into a box score. Now it's kind of come to the point where, like, you've seen the one where it says save states.
Yeah.
So basically, whenever you end your game during the 3 stars, or the menu goes to it after the 3 stars are done, it goes to the menu and says exit game. If you press F2, that's you're saving the game at that point. So F2. So once you're done your game, you press F2. You press it for each game, and when you're done, so like say you and I played, and you're like, oh, I got the saves. I'm like, cool, good. You can post them. So you go into save states, you just drag and drop those save states into the save state, and then normally before the next morning, those save states have been loaded into. We have a program. It literally takes like 5 seconds to load like 500 games that are played into an Excel document. It just pumps it out. Basically, I take that and paste it into the Google Sheet, and the Google Sheet automates everything into stats.
Okay.
So, and then you'll see the box scores as well. Those we normally post them in the morning so everybody can see like the scores from the night before. Sometimes they're shockers. Sometimes they're just like, I just want to see how I performed in that game, like stat wise.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah,
that's there
yeah.
now. Everything's really manually. So I'm getting to a point where you can just load it on the website and it automatically updates.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's good. And like, yeah, in the summers, obviously I'm a little more busy, but we did downsize it. Like our farm was getting out of control size wise. So we kind of actually slowed it down a bit this fall. We're not going to be doing as much because it was just crazy. And my kids, they both, they ride bulls in the rodeo and stuff like that. And there's rugby all summer. Plus they do the wrestling. So I'm not going to be sitting in a tractor every day, not seeing them do that. Right. So we slowed her down a bit. So now I have this too. And the kids are actually really pumped for me to do this because, they always, the first, sometimes they'll be playing, they'll come in, they'll be like, oh yeah, Dad, what's the score? 45-0 them, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm actually, it's tied 1-1. They're like, oh, they just walk away because they always want me to get smoked. So,
that's the thing is like, we have a few guys in the league that they have their kids that we're kind of priming them to get into the league.
Yeah.
So we might have a kids league. So.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
So all the people's kids would be able to play in their own league and play against each other. So.
Well, my kids can't believe how fast it is.
Yeah, because they're used to watching NHL 23, and it's like slow moves. You have to do all these fucking button movements to get everything with the joypads. This is you just press C to speed burst. You press C for shots, B to pass, and A to hook.
Yeah, exactly. Simple. The first game I played my son, he goes, what the hell is going on? He goes, is this game like, is there sitting speed settings or what? I'm like, no, man. He's like, oh my God, he says. So
you get used to it pretty quickly.
You do, yeah, for sure. So he's been playing a bit and stuff, but I've been taking it easy a few games on to try to get him into it. So yeah, he's getting there, but he's got a long way to go. So he just watched the game I played against what's his name there for Nips, yeah. And he's like, I was watching the screen, I'm like, how do you even know what button to push? Right? He's like, oh my gosh, that was crazy, right? So but it's good to see, right? That's what I love the most is playing against really good players, right? Because it's awesome to you don't want to just go beat a guy 15-0 every game. It's good to like get in a tight game and play. So
and that's the thing is that it's gotten to a point where the divisions are starting to be everyone's like, oh, they're tier 4, which means they're more for players that are new and they're not really used to the game or the gameplay or the league yet.
Right.
Like, but then you get guys who are just like natural to it and they start getting really good. And then it becomes competitive. Like when we first started the league, I finished, I think I was like 7th in the league out of 23. Now I'm like, on a good year, I'm probably I'd say top 15.
Okay.
But on like my standard years or my off years, I'm like 20s.
Okay.
But the thing is, I can hang my hat with everybody. Like I could play against everybody, but I lose to everybody too.
Well, that was my biggest fear coming in here. I was like, okay, I'm sitting there before the first game went on. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, is this going to be one of those where like I was good playing with my buddies back in the little house in Maryhill, or am I going to go out here and get like totally destroyed and be like, oh my God, what am I doing here? Right. So that was my biggest worry coming in. I was like, I don't want to look like a total fool. So
I don't want this combine to roll over me right now. And that's
I was like, oh my sweet Lord. But no, it's been good. And I've, you win some, you lose some, but it's good. So I've been.
From what I've watched all your games through Twitch, whatever games have shown up on it.
Yeah.
And your style is going to adapt very quickly. I think it's just more like, because you're playing with somebody else's team, so you're not really invested to those players. But from what I saw that you benched a Ginla in your first game I saw you play, I'm like, he's benching Iggy. But then I looked at Iggy's rating. It was only like 77 for that game or something like that. I'm like, okay, so he's not really all that invested. And then when you started saying, oh, Ginla's on the block or he's available, I'm like, okay, he wants to blow this up or get a good return and then start building.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure. So I just never a huge Ginla fan. So, but I like Roberts on my team. He's one of my I take him for sure every time. So
well, like even for me, like from my original roster, Solani's my only one left.
Yeah,
I probably lead the league in trades. But the way I've always done it, and everyone bitches and moans at me, and they're like, so, Magnus, you never really keep your rosters the same. Why don't you try going a full season without making trades? And I go the whole season without making trades, but then I make trades in the off season because I'm like, okay, my team didn't perform. I need to find something better. And so my team's flipped so many times. Like what did I have? I drafted, who did I trade? I traded Nicholas Lindstrom, which was a stupid idea on my part. But I traded Lindstrom, who is like top 3 favorite players of all time for me. And I traded him to get like the 3rd overall pick, like in 4 seasons ago or 3 seasons ago, to get Todd Bertuzzi. Then I traded my first and Bertuzzi to get Iginla. Then I traded Iginla to move up in the draft, which I got Marian Hossa. And then I had the 15th overall pick too, and I drafted Caberlet. Then I flipped Caberlet and Hossa for Thomas Vakoun and Peter Forsberg. Then I traded Forsberg to get Miroslav Satan and Alexander Mogilny.
Oh, yeah, that's a good, yeah.
And then I traded Satan for fucking bag of used pucks, I think. And then I still have Mogilny. But now my team is, I got Vakoun and net. I got Pronger on 1D. I still need to find another one. But I'm finding play by numbers. And then I got Cliff Rounding, Teemu Selanne, and Alexander Mogilny as my forwards.
Yeah, that's pretty decent. Yeah, that's a good lineup.
Yeah.
Well, what I used to do when I used to play always, when I was like younger, I used to always take, if I took a team, I'd always not every game, but I'd put 2 good defensemen out. Then I'd put the 3 worst players, so I'd have to pass, not skate. When I was younger, just you know what I mean. But I'll tell you, I forget what team he plays for. You know who was with one of the biggest tanks in that game? He couldn't skate for shit. His name was Jim Storm. I forget what team he played for. That guy, his speed was like 50, but he just skates straight up the middle, and the guys just bounce off him.
Jim Storm, jeez.
Yeah, I forget what team he played for now. Oh.
I think it was Vancouver.
It might have been Vancouver. Yeah, he would just like putter around. He just like cruise. He was just like a Panzer tank. I forget. I found him. I used to play
Hartford.
Yeah. And he used to like skate. Like, my buddies would be like, "What is going on? Do you have a cheat code or something?" he just cruise around, just like people bouncing off him. Jim Storm.
Yeah, there's a few guys in the league like that always take one guy and they're like, I'm going to use him and I'm just going to freaking shell shock everybody.
Yeah.
And normally it happens, but at the end of the day, it's just like, well, who's your favorite player to do stuff with? And everybody I play with, I've played this season. Yeah, my record doesn't reflect how I should have played this year. I should have been like, I don't know, I should be at least 20 games over 500, but that's me wishful thinking, I guess. But everybody says that I got fuck you speed. Means like when you got a roster that just flies, and that's basically what it is.
Tough, man. When you have a roster that flies, it's a tough goal, especially if you don't have fast defense that can move, right? Like
not so much that for me. It's back checking, because the thing is, people would be like, "Oh yeah, I got a breakaway." Then I'm like, they're like, "Fuck, 3 of your players are already back on top of me," and like I'm the type of player. I think my C button, I've replaced it 5 times on my controller.
But
everything else is still the original, but my C button, because I smash it so much. And I play on the keyboard as well sometimes, but I play with my controller, but I play holding the handle on the left of the joystick, but the other one I use my fingers as if I'm typing.
Oh, okay.
But my strongest finger is my middle finger, and I use that for my C button. And the way I do it is that you can probably even hear it. I do. Like that's me hitting on glass on a table, and that's like softly pressing it. Like, but I jam it sometimes, being like, fuck you. I threw my controller only once this year and it didn't break. Luckily. There's guys
the controller throw happens.
Oh, if you throw a controller, it's expected. So
yeah, exactly.
So anything else you want to add before we end our interview?
No, I think that's it. And just I guess basically if I ask a dumb question, it's just because I don't know and I don't want to screw anything up. So if anybody's listening, I'm asking stupid questions, it's just because I'm not real tech savvy. So bear with me.
Hey, put it this way. I'd say half the league is not tech savvy. Like now they are. There's guys who said, I didn't even know how to plug in a computer. I'm not saying anybody is. Gaelic Gopher, Judd, don't worry. Like you're okay. Some of these guys have gotten to the point now where they were like, I'm not tech savvy. Now they're running their own streams.
That's awesome. Okay.
So like if you're not tech savvy, don't worry about it. As long as you even just the way I always say it to everybody, just play your games, everything else will be fine.
Awesome. Yeah, that's about it for me. And yeah, just want to get some games in and keep rolling. So
Sounds good. All right, everybody, play your fucking games. We had Big Red on, and next Dark Side interview might be with Jay Pizzle.
all right. Thanks again, man. Take care, guys.
All right.